Hi guys, Alberto here. You're watching the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel, and today I'm checking out the Victory V40, the Duchess amplifier. So as usual, I'm gonna start by playing the amp over a backing track using a couple of different guitars and different effect pedals. Then I'm gonna cover the main specs and features of the amp. Third, I'm gonna show you a couple of isolated guitar tracks with the amp played by itself. And finally, we move on to the review part. So grab a drink, sit tight, and let's go. The Victory V40, the Duchess, is a very straightforward, single-channel, vintage-inspired all-tube amp. It runs three 12AX7s in the preamp, and you can run two EL34s or 6L6s in the power amp, and outputs about 42 watts. In terms of controls, you get a toggle switch between two different voicings. Voice 1 is quite warm and round and clean. It's perfect to be used as a clean pedal platform, while Voice 2 is a bit more compressed, more mid-pushed, and really likes to be pushed into breakup territory. So you get two excellent bass tones to choose from. You have a volume to control the overall gain, a 3-band EQ with an extra toggle switch for a mid-kick if you want a little bit more mid-range bite, an inbuilt digital reverb, which can also be switched off with a toggle switch, and finally the master volume to control the overall output. The V40 has got 4 different power modes. It outputs around 42 watts at full power, when running at low power mode around 7, and then you can also run it in single-ended mode. This means that only one of the output tubes is running at a time, and in this mode you get around 1.5 watt at full power and half watt at low power mode. When running single-ended, you can also hear the power stage compressing a lot more, so to me this is more of a tonal variation rather than a power reduction feature. It's also worth mentioning that the master volume in this amp is amazing. It really does a great job retaining the bass character of the amp while helping to tame the output volume. At the backplate you get the connections for the serial effects loop and for the reverb foot switch, which does come included with the amp. Besides that, you also get a padded gig bag, which is quite awesome to carry the amp around. The head weight's about 8.2 kilos, so it really packs a lot of punch. It has a great power to weight ratio. Let's hear some more sound samples. Now I'm gonna play the amp by itself without any pedals, using both single coil and humbucking guitars. All recordings today are done using the 2 notes torpedo capture to load down the amp, and then the Wall of Sound plugin for cabinet simulation. The cabinet I'm using today is a 4x12 Victory cabinet, open back, loaded with Celestion G12 M65 speakers, and this is mic'd up with a combination of dynamic and ribbon mics. So let me know what you think about the sounds and the features of the Victory V40, the Duchess amplifier. This has been my main recording amp for the past 4 years, so I really cannot praise it enough. I use it mainly as a clean pedal platform amp. It literally eats pedals alive. You can throw anything in front of it and it will take it. You'll be really hard pressed to find anything sounding bad through this amp. At the same time, I also think it does a quite good job doing these breakup sounds, especially for 50s and 60s blues. So with the two different voicings, you really get some great bass tones to play with. Another thing I really like about this amp is the simplicity. So it's not a crazy tone shaping machine, but it's got this really good bass sound, and you can use the EQ to make some fine adjustments. So the EQ is also not overly powerful. So it's really easy to get consistent good sounds throughout different venues and different recording situations. Another thing I really like about this amp is the amount of power and clean headroom available, so it's great if you need to play clean over a loud drummer. In fact, when I first got this amp, I was playing live outdoors with a big band, and in a jazz band, the guitar player is always the last one to get a microphone. So this means I needed a pretty loud amp to be able to keep up with the band while at the same time remaining pristine clean, and the V40 really nailed that. Then at the same time, as I mentioned, the master volume on this amp works wonders, so it's really easy to tame it for a bedroom or for a recording situation. In fact, I have also a 15-watt Blues Junior, and I will say it's easier to tame the V40 than it is to tame the Blues Junior. So the Blues Junior with the master volume low just sounds terrible, while the V40 you can get some pretty convincing sounds for recording and playing in the bedroom at low volumes. Now there are also a couple of things that I would probably change in this amp. The first one would be that I would like to dial in a bit more brightness in voice 1. So depending on the guitar and the cabinet that I'm playing, I feel the amp is rather on the dark side, and I usually set my pedals to compensate for that, but I would like to be able to dial in the amp itself. So the second thing would be the reverb, which by the way sounds great, but is not my favorite, so if I could change it, I would. And finally, there will be the foot switch option. So you only get one foot switch to toggle the reverb on and off, but I could think of different things like switching from voice 1 to voice 2 or turning on the mid kick for your solo part. So that would be great to also get more flexibility on the foot switch side. In terms of pricing, the Victory V40 goes for about 1200 euros here in Germany. So it sits above your typical workhorse amp like a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, while being significantly cheaper than most boutique tube amps and even cheaper than the Fender 65 reissue series. So you get a great package. The amp has been designed by Martin Kidd, is built in England and with really high quality components. Victory has also a great customer service. And as I mentioned, I really like the concept and the sound of this amp, and I really think they nailed the design. So that's it for today. I really hope the review was helpful and fun to watch. If that's the case, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more guitar and gear related content, also make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay tuned for future videos. Also, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel, make sure to check my affiliate links in the description box down below. This really helps to get the channel going and for me to get more products for doing reviews like this one at no additional cost for you. So keep on rocking and cheers!